Hey there, guys. Jared Boyd here from Blue Financial. Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to run you through my retirement ready playbook and explain the concepts behind it to you. So bear with me while I reduce my screen size. So the four key steps to retiring with confidence. It starts out with finding your purpose beyond work. We'll go into that a little bit more detail. The second part is knowing how much it's going to cost you to live the life that you want. How much super savings do you then need to live that life that you want? And then choosing the right investment strategy for your superannuation within your super, balancing growth and stability. To me, they're the four key points to any good retirement plan. There are a lot more points as well that go alongside all of that, which we'll get into. But just to focus on these four, it's critical to give you that financial confidence that people need once entering the new phase of your life. So, setting your retirement goals, finding purpose beyond work. We all work for a very long time. Well, most of us anyway. And then to fill that void with other things, to not get up in the morning and have somewhere to go to, that can be a huge change for a lot of people. So you've got to really think about that and have a plan. So identify hobbies and interests, whether it's traveling, volunteering, taking up a hobby, spending more time with family and friends. I would encourage you to really think about that. Write it down, list out all the activities that that excite you, and have a think about your days, how they will be spent when you're no longer working. The second part is, how much is it all going to cost? How much do I need to live comfortably? So we've got our essential living costs here. Start with the basics: housing, food, utilities, healthcare, insurance. Now, I've got a good link here to the government Money Smart spreadsheet, and you can use that as a guide if you wish to start off with. Then you've got lifestyle spending, so that's dining out, travelling, entertainment, hobbies, the fun stuff. The Australian Super Funds of Australia, ASFA, every quarter they release what the average comfortable retirement costs are for couples and single people. Currently, as it stands, for a couple, a bit over $73,000 per year, which is $1,400 per week, or a single person, a bit over $52,000 per year, $1,000 per week. Now, keep in mind, these are averages, so there's going to be people below this and be people above this. So this might not be exactly for you, what it's going to cost you, but it's a good starting point. And here is the ASFA figures to give you an idea. And these are all the things that they are including. So the daily essentials, all the housing things, groceries, transport, clothing and footwear, staying fit and healthy, staying socially engaged, connecting with family, one international flight every 7 years, one domestic flight per year per person. And how much super do you need? So this is relating to those average figures. For a couple wanting that $73,000 per year, they're going to need about $690,000 in super. So that money in super, alongside their age pension entitlements, will comfortably fund them $73,000 per year, and the money would deplete around their life expectancy age. So into their early 90s to mid 90s generally is what we strive for. And for a single person, $595,000 is the amount in superannuation to give you that $52,000 per year. keep in mind, there's always the potential for part-time work in the early years of retirement, which can go a long way to making your money last longer and having a better quality of life. And point number 4, the right investment strategy for your super once you're in retirement. So once you're in retirement and drawing an income stream from your wealth, things change. There's a new risk involved, which is called sequencing risk. And when you're drawing money down out of your super fund, you're going to want to have 2 buckets in your fund at least. The 2 bucket strategy is something that we deploy. Bucket 1, defensive assets, and bucket 2, growth assets. So defensive assets, the rule of thumb, for example, you might put 5 to 7 years of your living costs in this bucket, depending on how much super you've got. So you're always going to draw down upon this bucket first to pay you your income to fund your living costs, which means everything else can go into bucket 2, which is predominantly shares, Australian shares, international shares. And if there is a market downturn, you don't have to touch this money. You don't have to crystallize any losses by selling the shares at a bad time. You use bucket 1, draw down upon that first. So by not having to sell any shares at the worst possible time, it makes your money last much longer and avoid sequencing risk. So if you haven't already, pull out your super fund statement, have a look where it's invested. 99% of people will have it invested in one bucket, the default balanced investment option, which is not mitigating sequence risk. So those were the 4 key financial strategies that any good retirement plan needs to take care of. And then alongside of those, these are the 12 financial strategies that we consider also. So I'm not going to go into each one in detail, but you can pause this video and have a closer read. But we've got age pension basics, understanding how much you get paid, how much you're entitled to, how to maximize that with the asset test and the income test. Different types of investing strategies, active versus index. Simply put, active is where fund managers you might pay a little bit more money, but there's the potential for higher returns. Whereas an index passive strategy, it's a standard returns and a less costly approach. So active investing may offer higher returns, doesn't necessarily come with more risk, just higher fees, which maybe adds on to that higher risk. And when I say higher fees, they aren't drastically more. Number 3, lifetime income or annuities, which a lot of people have heard of. So this is lifetime, putting part of your super into an annuity or lifetime income and having it pay you a certain amount for the rest of your life. And a major advantage for that is that it has a 40% discount rate on the age pension asset test. So if you're over that asset test, you're going to get more age pension by using a strategy such as this. Number 4, lump sum contributions into super. So additional contributions if you've sold investment property, downsized your home, or sold some shares, or had an inheritance, or just have savings that you've saved up over the years that might be in term deposits, getting that into a tax-free environment within super and investing it as per your risk tolerance and risk profile, that can save you a lot of money. Number 5, carry forward super contributions. So still putting extra money into super, but using the carry forward strategy. So this is tax deductible, claiming a tax deduction on those contributions to minimize your personal income tax. It's the same format as salary sacrificing into super, but it's doing it the self-employed way. You're contributing the money from your bank account and then you're sending a a notice of intent to the super fund to claim it as a tax deduction. Number 6, transition to retirement income streams. So once you're 60, anyone is eligible to transfer their superannuation from accumulation mode, which is what everyone is in when they're accumulating super money, into a TTR income stream. The advantage of that is you can access up to 10% of your money per year, which enables you to supplement your income if you wanted to reduce work hours. It enables you to pay down debt if you've still got a home loan and you want to pay that off quicker. Or, coming back to point number 5, it enables you to make tax-deductible contributions back into super, saving your tax. Number 7, this is another income stream from your superannuation at 65 or earlier if you're fully retired from work or retired from gainful employment. You can convert your super into an income stream. This is different from the TTR in that it saves you even more tax because the earnings within the fund become tax-free, so all the dividends and the share growth. Number 8, avoiding death taxes for your beneficiaries. Now, this comes into play when you pass your super on to someone who is financially not dependent. So adult children is a prime example. Your spouse would be financially dependent, so they wouldn't have to pay this tax. But when it goes to your adult children or your estate, typically there's a fair chunk of tax that's payable on that super if you have not looked into that and potentially cleaned it up. Number 9, if you've got investment properties, do you keep, do you sell? There's pros and cons to that. The one major disadvantage of an investment property is that it's not liquid. You can't sell off a bathroom to access $50,000 to do something, to go on a holiday or upgrade your car or just to fund your living costs. So a lot of people, if they've got multiple properties, they'll sell a couple and might keep one. If they've got one and it's a fair chunk of their overall wealth, most likely the tendency is to liquidate that property, use the funds to invest, live off the interest or the dividends from that, and then draw down on the principal as well. But there's plenty of pros and cons to weigh up in that type of decision making. Number 10, if you've still got a home loan, how to extinguish it. Most people don't want to go into retirement with a home loan still. So do you use a lump sum from your super to pay that off? Do you keep working longer? What are the pros and cons of doing that? Number 11, if you've got life insurance or income protection still, most likely it's getting quite costly. At what point do you reduce that or cancel it? Pros and cons to those decisions, and we help you work through that. And number 12, downsize that contribution. If you were to sell your home, you have the opportunity to put extra money into super above and beyond what you can normally put on. It opens up a key strategy to get extra into super, because typically there's limits on how much you can get in. So hopefully that has given you some confidence as in what the key steps to retire with confidence is. Go ahead and do what you can do with those key takeouts. And if you would like any help with any of what we've discussed, feel free to reach out and we can book in a Retire Ready strategy session and go from there. For those still hanging around, I'll include a couple of case study examples. So the first one here is for singles. This is a 65-year-old single person who has $400,000 in superannuation and $25,000 in other assets. Let's call that a car and home contents. Now, this person's goal is to retire at 65 with $50,000 per year, indexed with inflation each year to keep pace with rising costs. Now, the outcome, based on an investment strategy, a balanced return of 6.11% per year, this person is able to retire with $50,000 income from both age pension and superannuation, and they are happy to use all of their superannuation for that goal, and the superannuation depletes at age 93. So here we are here, $50,000 per year is the income goal. We put $400,000 into an allocated pension down here, invested it in a balanced fund. The purple line here is the $50,000 per year, paying every year until age pension eligibility at 67, and then the dark line kicks in and his income is made up of both superannuation income stream payments from the allocated pension plus age pension, depleting at age 94. Now the second case study is a couple that both 64 years old with $600,000 in super, $50,000 in other assets, so let's say 2 cars and home contents. The reason for that is it plays into the asset tests and how much you're entitled to for age pension. Now, their goal, $74,000 per year, indexed with inflation, investing the same way, 6.11%, and the superannuation is fully used and it runs out at age 92, which is a good outcome. So $74,000 per year, index with inflation factored in, although it doesn't show it here, it is factored in. 92,000, not 90, age 92 is when it runs out, based on a 6.11% return every year, invested as a balanced risk profile. So these are the types of strategies that we do for our clients, and if it is something that you would like to pursue, look into further, as I said before, please reach out and tee up a retire ready strategy session. Happy to chat more. And finally, last case study, same deal. A couple, 67 years old, they've got $900,000 in super. Their goal is $90,000 per year. Same investment strategy of a balanced 6.11% return each year, and the super runs out at 92. Now, we've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of clients over the years, and this is just a couple of the Google reviews that we've been fortunate enough to receive. Anthony said he was very worried about his financial future, didn't think he had enough money or was on track, but we put him on track and gave him that confidence that we like to give people, that he did have enough and was in a great position to retire when and how he wanted. Leanne said we made her feel at ease. Zoe said she had a great experience. Ash said really appreciates our approachability and patience. Ria was extremely pleased, gave her confidence. Alice made all our financial transitions effortless, seamless, without fuss. And yeah, there's a few more there. So if you're still watching, thanks for sticking around to the end. And once again, very happy to have a quick chat with you in a retire ready strategy session. Thanks. Bye for now.